In my 8 years of working, I have given and prepared for several interviews. I've also been on the other side and taken a lot of interviews. Today, from my experience, I'm going to share with you what the interviewers are looking for in your answers during the recruitment process and how you can be different from your friends. Hi everyone, welcome to Insider Gyan. My name is Somi. I'm an IIT Delhi and ISB Hyderabad grad. I've been working in management consulting and banking for over 8 years now. And through my experience as well as my network on this channel, I bring to you some insider knowledge and Gyan related to college and career decisions. So if that's something that interests you, please subscribe to this channel. Placement season is right around the corner. And in just 2 or 3 months, you guys will be interviewing with a lot of companies. So in today's video, I wanted to share an overview of the interview process. What are some of the things that the companies are looking for in you during the process? And towards the end, I'm also going to be sharing some tips and tricks. Now, please note that there are a few HR or behavioral related questions which are probably going to be asked to you irrespective of the company that you are going to interview for, irrespective of the role that you are appearing for. So I want to really delve deep into those questions, but I don't think I'll be able to do justice to all of them in one video. So today I'm going to touch upon them very briefly, and in the subsequent videos in the next few weeks I am going to give you some specific frameworks that you can use to structure your answers. So let's get started. Topic number 1. What are the things the recruiter is testing you for during the interview process? First thing in that is technical skills. These are the bare minimum role-specific skills that you will need to have in order to do well. Types of question in this will really vary from role to role. For example, it could be a coding-related question if you are interviewing for IT developer role, or it could be a guesstimate or a full-fledged case interview if you're appearing for a consulting or a strategy role. It could be finance concepts if it's a banking role, so on and so forth. Now, I trust you that you guys are going to prepare for your individual domains, which is why I'm not going to talk much about the technical skills part on this video. With that, let's move on to the next one, which is the interpersonal skills. This is what we call the HR interview or the behavioral round. I have seen that most of us prepare really well for the technical round, but the HR interview is something that we always tend to put in the back burner. But you know why it is important? Because you have only limited time to talk about your skill sets, to sell yourself to the interviewer. And if you don't prepare well enough, you will not be articulate, you will not be able to put across all your points, and you are in general not going to be performing very well in that interview. Let's talk about some of the broad category of questions that come in this specific section. Tell me about yourself. Why do you want to join our company? What skill sets will you bring to this role? What are your strengths and weaknesses? And then the negative emotion questions like, have you ever failed in life? What are the challenges that you have faced? Have you ever managed a conflict? As you can see, answering these questions need a bit of introspection. And if you're not prepared well enough, you will sound very incoherent during the interview. I typically follow some frameworks for each of these questions, and I'm going to share them with you in detail in the next few weeks' videos. Now, let's talk about the third thing that the interviewer is testing you on. That is the company fit. Now, this is something that we don't consciously think about, but every company has a set of values or principles, and they want to make sure that the employees that they hire have some sort of alignment with those values, because that ensures that you will have a wholesome experience within the company and you will stick around in the company for the long term. This round usually has a lot of overlap with the behavioral round, and sometimes they may just combine both the rounds together. Also note that a lot of times the interviewer is not specifically going to ask you about that value, but will look for hints of those values in your other HR answers. The company and the culture fit part is specifically important for these big technology giants these days. Companies like Amazon, Facebook, Google, they have their unique set of values. For example, one of Facebook's values is that they're looking for people who are risk takers, even if that means that they failed sometimes. So how do you prepare for this round? Step number 1 is to go on the company websites and look for the values or the principles that they might have. Usually it appears in the career section of the company, but sometimes it can also be present elsewhere. Step number 2, you need to prepare 1 or 2 examples for each of those values that exemplify your alignment to them. And then step number 3 is to consciously weave in some of those values in your other HR answers. For example, in Facebook's About Me question, you can say, I believe in moving fast and taking moderate, calculated risks. Most times it works great for me, but sometimes it has also led me to trouble. But I have always come out of it with great life lessons. Let me give you an example. And then you start giving your example. In addition to all of the above, one extra step that you need to do is to research very well about the company. What are its products and services? What is its business model? Did they make any major announcements recently? For this part of the preparation, I usually use 3 sources. Number 1 is the company website. Usually they detail out the products and services, all about their clients, all about their business model in very detail on the company website. Second thing is the annual report of the company. This is present in the investor relations section of the company page. Third source is to go through the media section of the company website, where they would usually post about any major announcements or news that they appeared in. Now, for the last section of the video, let me leave you with some interview tips and some common mistakes that we usually end up making. Number 1 is not preparing enough. You have a very limited time to impress the interviewer and keep him captivated. So preparation is the key for you to be able to articulate your answers in a very coherent and a well-mannered way. Number 2, rambling on a question for more than 2 minutes. If you start talking about your life history on a specific question, the interviewer is going to lose interest. Again, preparation and practice is key for you to avoid making this mistake. Number 3, not preparing for questions that you want to ask the interviewer. All the rounds would usually end in the interviewer asking you, do you have any questions for me? The worst way to answer that is to say no. I don't have any questions for you. I'm very clear on the role. It shows that you're not interested enough. So do your homework, prepare some good questions to ask the interviewer, and use it as an opportunity to get your doubts cleared about the role. Number 4, always carry a few copies of your resume, a few blank A4 sheets, and a pen to the interview. You will see that a lot of times you might have to take notes. Also, it goes a long way to show your preparedness as well as sincerity towards the interview process. Lastly, if you know who your interviewer is going to be, do some basic research on that person. You would usually find everyone on LinkedIn these days, where people write down in detail about the kind of work that they do. That will also give you an idea of the kind of questions that they are going to ask you. With that, we have come to the end of this video. As promised, I'm going to share with you the detailed frameworks of the behavioral questions very soon. So stay tuned for those, subscribe to the channel. If you liked today's video, hit the like button, and I'm going to see you super soon. Till then, all the best for your preparations. Bye.